Hi, Heidi. So I just want to walk you through Revel in a little bit more detail to help you as you're evaluating the program. So the idea behind Revel is taking our content that would have been in a print book and delivering it in a digital environment. This allows us to give students in different levels of engagement and also help them retain the content differently. On the other side, this also allows faculty to really have better insights into what students are understanding and comprehending when they're reading. So when you come in, you'll have to create assignments. Assignments typically are going to be your readings. Within the readings, you'll see there's different activities and quizzes available that could be for part of a grade. You'll see that the left-hand side has the volume 1 outline. You can pick on any of the chapters that you'd like. Then you'll see over on the right-hand side the different options based by objective. You can assign different pieces and parts and pick and choose what you'd like. I'll give you an overview of what it looks like and how you can actually review what's within our content and how it's differently than what you'd see in the print book. When I click on 2.1, it will launch me into this Revel environment. Please know that this was built from the ground up to be a digital experience and mobile friendly. We do have a free app that can be used on any device that students can have once they've set up their accounts with Revel and use this and access everything on the go on their phones. It will be formatted to fit their screen, and there's a certain amount of white space, and all the interactives will be available as well. You'll see that as I'm reading, different things like our maps will be available and allow students to really zoom into different areas and investigate what they look like in more depth than they could within a print book. As I move forward, students also have some basic capabilities that most ebooks will have, such as highlighting and taking notes. You'll see that as I highlight as a student, I get 3 colors. You as an instructor also have the ability to highlight, and you can share notes with students as they're reading. So this is a great way if you wanted to customize content. You can provide links, other terminology, other things with students by just highlighting, adding a note, and clicking share note. Then this will show up for every student as they're reading as something that their instructor has specifically highlighted for them, and it will turn a 4th color, which is a darker blue. I'll continue to progress forward so you can see some of the other interactives that we have. Also in the top right-hand corner, you'll see where we have the little headphones available. If you were to click on that, that's actually going to help turn on the audio, which will allow it to read the book to the students, which is really great for being on the go. Here are other examples of our interactives and how students can really get into this very granular view of these images. We also have different video content loaded in here. And so I'll get to an area where we have some videos loaded in to let you see. So here's an example of a video below. This is called a closer look. These are embedded within the actual content, and you can see I can play it here.
The standard of OR. The standard of OR shows many
Students can adjust the speed, their closed caption, and they can be made to be full screen. These videos would be available both within the Revel on their computers that they're logging into, like I am right now, and also on the app version as well. Then you'll also see different points where we want to have students interact with us. And so you'll see different journals. These journals will be ways that students are being asked to respond to something that they just looked at. So for example, they're looking at the standard of and they're supposed to actually talk about how the space is depicted. They'll enter their response here, and then you as an instructor will be able to see all the student responses in one place. Once I get to the end of an objective, you'll see that we do have small quizzes that are available. We'll click through a few more pages to get there. There's another video, some more interactives, another video. So you can see that it's a very video and media rich content that we've built out in this online environment, which allows us to do things that we haven't been able to do in a print book. We found that by putting things and interactives throughout here, students are spending more time on certain concepts than they would have, which means they're better retaining the content. If something like an image was in a print textbook, they'd look at it, move on, and go to the next thing. So here's an example where we have these small section level quizzes. These are going to be just multiple choice questions. They will be auto graded. You can take out questions if you don't like them and adjust how many attempts students have. But this is a great way for students really quickly to get a better understanding of, do I know what I just read or did I zone out? You'll see, for example, we give students a little feedback to consider before they take another attempt and move forward. A lot of faculty use these in the way of like a reading quiz. So low stakes, but then something that's definitely being counted towards their participation in the course. So you'll see that you can continue through this process, and you'll see different things like you could skip right to the quizzes here by clicking in this area. And then at the end of each chapter, we typically have what we call a shared writing experience. This is going to be a journal prompt that's going to be tied to the entire chapter. What will happen is that as students are putting in their prompts, then after they respond, they'll actually be able to see other students' answers as well as their answers, and you'll see everybody's answers. And usually there's some type of image or something tied to it as well to really help students with their critical thinking skills. All of those are pre-built and you can assign them at the end. You see this one has 2. Then we also will have a full chapter quiz, which will combine questions from all parts of the chapter. As you're going through, you'd set due dates, pick the content that you want, and then students would be able to have a very clear view within Revel of when their assignments are coming up, when they're expected to complete items, and really have a more interactive experience with our content in this online environment. Please know that if you want to dive into this more, really get into the different resources we have, or even look at the performance gradebook and what types of things you can get, just let me know. You do have the ability to see things like how long students are spending. You'll also see on each quiz question where students are commonly answering. So if your students had 50% of them answered A and 50% answered C, you'd see a breakdown based on that. In addition, students do have areas they can go to, like their highlights and notes area, which will organize all the notes and highlights they've taken throughout the book, as well as a glossary. And for you, there's additional resources like PowerPoints, test banks, instructor manuals. I hope this helps. I really look forward to talking with you more and hope that you'll consider Revel for your course in the fall.